Hey guys, it's Jess from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a book haul. I have a ton of books to share with you. I don't know what happened. I did end up getting a lot for review this month, but I also bought some. So I'm just going to go ahead and get to this huge stack next to me. You can already see there's piles everywhere, and I'm going to get to it. The first thing in this book haul was such a surprise. So I got it a couple days ago in the mail, and the box immediately told me what it was. And that is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. They sent it in this gorgeous box that has to do all things London. And inside of the box was an arc of the book, Chain of Gold, which is gorgeous. This is book one in a new spin-off series of The Infernal Devices. And it is a chunker just like every other book she writes. So it's just under 600 pages. With this also came a really cool map of London in the early 1900s. So that's cool. And because this is when the book takes place. And we also have character cards, and so they come with all of these character cards, and then on the back we get their bios and all about them. So we have like Thomas Lightwood, Anna Lightwood, all the Herondales, the Fairchilds, all those fun characters. And then the last thing in this box is really fun, and it is a sequined book sleeve with the Shadowhunter symbol. The rune? Aren't they runes? It's been a while since I've read a Shadowhunter book, but this is one of those things where you go like that, so that's really fun. This box is super fun. I'm very excited I got it, and I can't wait to read my arc. And I have not finished the Mortal Instruments series. I have read The Infernal Devices, and I've not read The Dark Artifices, but I'm going to go ahead and give this book a shot. We'll see if I can catch on to everything that happens in it. We'll go in this stack first. The first book I got was the movie tie-in edition of P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. I read this series way back when it came out, but I do know that the Netflix series, of course, movie is coming out soon, and so I'm excited to have this movie tie-in edition. It came with some popcorn, some conversation hearts, a scrunchie, some Twizzlers. It was a very cute package, and I'm excited to have this copy. Then I was sent a review copy of Not That Kind of Guy by Andy J. Christopher from Berkeley Romance. This is a office romance, and our main character is actually the guy's boss, and he's an intern, and she needs a date for her sibling's wedding. It is her brother's wedding, and his time as an intern is coming to an end, so I believe they go together, and it's their romance. Then I got a copy of Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson, and this one sounds so cute. So these brothers' mother passes away, and so they decide to keep her knitting shop open. I believe there's 4 brothers, and 3 of them don't want to, but our main character does, and he enlists the help of his childhood best friend to help him. And she, I believe, has always liked him. It sounds really fun, and I'm excited to read it. Then I was sent a finished copy of Ignite on Contact by J.C. Burton. This one is from Berkeley Romance. I think it already came out, and it is a firefighter romance, book 2 in the series. I wasn't the biggest fan of book 1, but this one sounds really fun. It is about a firefighter. He's kind of a playboy, and then our main character, female, is an ER nurse, and she's been taking care of her grandfather, and he's always been there for them. Our firefighter has, and he's determined to show her he can be serious, so can't wait to read it. Then from Forever Romance, I was sent All I Ask by Corinne Michaels. This one is about 2 single parents, and so our main character's name is Tegan, and she has a daughter, and then the guy's name is Derek, and he is back in town, I believe, with his teenage child, and he has a failed marriage. That's what the synopsis says, so we'll see how this book turns out. Then I was sent an arc of the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. This one, our main character finds a dog, and it's actually the dog of this guy who's a musician off performing in Australia, and he wants his dog back. So I love dog romances, so this sounds adorable. Then I went to an author signing and picked up Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibanez. I always don't remember how to say her last name, but it's Ibanez. This is a Bolivian-inspired fantasy, very atmospheric, whimsical kind of book, and that's all I know, so I don't want to read too much into the synopsis because I just want to go in to enjoy the book. And it was so much fun getting to meet the author. She designed this cover herself, which is amazing, and I cannot wait to pick this up. Then Berkeley Romance sent me Something to Talk About by Mary Wilsner. This one is an arc. This comes out in May, and it is a female-female romance. I believe it is the first female-female romance from Berkeley, and it is about a actress and her assistant falling in love. So I guess they were seen like laughing about something on the red carpet, and people were like, ooh, are they together? But they weren't, and now they're like getting to know each other and spending time together. So it sounds very fun. Then from the publisher, I was sent a copy of No True Believer by Rabia York Lombard. This one is about a girl, I believe in high school, and people are making fun of her because she is Muslim. People are writing racial slurs about her, so that's all I know about this book. I'm very excited to read it. It does sound like a hard-hitting contemporary YA. The next one I'm very excited for, I was sent for the publisher, and that is Together We Caught Fire by Eva V. Gibson. This one is a romance, and it sounds very angsty. So our main character has liked this guy for a while, and then her father ends up marrying his mom, and so now they're living together, and there's attraction building, but he's actually dating her best friend. So then she starts hanging out with her best friend's older brother. And crazy things happen. So this sounds like a very complicated, angsty romance, and I'm very excited to read it. Then I was sent a copy of Little Women from Penguin Teen. They sent this to me to promote Jo and Laurie, which is by Melissa De La Cruz and another author. Oh, I'm blanking on her name. I don't have the paper with me. Margaret Stoll, and it comes out on June 2nd, and so that it's Jo and Laurie, so it's about Jo and Laurie from Little Women. I've never read Little Women. I actually just bought a different copy of Little Women when I was at Joseph Beth, which is an independent bookstore in Cincinnati, and so now I have 2 copies. I will probably read this one and put this one on display because it's gorgeous, and I don't know why this one's so thick. I mean, I guess, well, this is 500 pages. This does not look like 500 pages, but I'm excited to have these. Thank you so much to Penguin for sending this to me. I bought this one myself, but I'm very excited to finally read Little Women because I haven't yet. The next book I was sent from the publisher was Once Upon a Sunset by Tiff Marcello. I don't know if I say that right, but our main character is grieving over her grandmother's death, and then her mother uncovers a box of letters, which are from her grandfather from World War II, and they thought he had died, so I guess they go on a journey together. This reminds me of Next Year in Havana with the whole uncovering something about the past and trying to figure out what happened with loved ones and their romances, so I'm excited to read this. The next one sounds very emotional. It's Breaking Case of Emergency by Brian Francis. I was sent this from the publisher, and our main character lost her mother to suicide. She's never known her father, so she didn't live with her grandparents, and she's actually planning on committing suicide herself, and then her father comes back in the picture and wants to get to know her. So it sounds very hard-hitting and emotional. I will definitely have to be in the right state of mind to read something this serious, but I'm excited to have it. Then I have my 3 Book of the Month picks this month. I do pay for Book of the Month myself, but I do have a lot of credits from people who've used my link. So if you're interested in getting a free book, the link is down below. If you get a free book, I also get a free book. And so I picked 3 this month. I picked Anna K, which I don't know much about. The cover is super gorgeous. I think it's an Anna Karenina retelling, and it has to kind of do with Gossip Girl vibes, so I'm excited for this. I got Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. I don't know anything about this book. I do know that Chelsea from Chelsea and Darling Reads recently read this and she really enjoyed it, so I'm excited. It's YA. And then I got You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I don't know anything about this either. I just know it's a thriller and that they are very popular thriller authors, and I'm excited to read it. I just read the synopsis and I still don't know what this book is about, but I have it. Speaking of thrillers, I did get 3 more Stephen King books for the hotter editions. I buy these all on used book websites, and so I love these editions. I already have 7, so now I have 10, even though I've never read a Stephen King book, but I'm just extra because I want to read him, so I decided to buy these, and I don't know what to do first, but I got Lacey's Story. I don't know what this is about. I got Cell. Don't know what this is about. And I got Blaze, and I don't know what this is about, but I'm excited. The next one I'm super excited to have, and that is Chasing Lucky by Jen Bennett. This is an ARC. It comes out in May. I love Jen Bennett, and it's YA, and our main character's moved around a lot. I think her mother's a photographer. Yeah. And so she lives with her single mom, and she's moved around a lot, and she's back home in New England where I believe she lived when she was younger, and she has all of her hopes and dreams on the West Coast. And then I believe she gets entangled with the town rebel bad boy. So I'm excited. I love Jen Bennett's YA, so I could not be more excited. I'll probably dive into this really soon. Then I'm sent a copy of Don't Look Down by Hilary Davidson from the publisher, and this one is just about a woman who's being blackmailed, and then her blackmailer ends up dead, so they think she did it. I didn't ask for this book, it just showed up, so we'll see if I end up reading this. Next, I was sent St. Francis Society for Wayward Pets by Annie England Noblin. I was sent this from the publisher. Her birth mother has left her a house, a car, and a cat, and I think there's just a dog on the porch, and she decides to move to where this house is, and the story goes from there. So this sounds interesting. It's got a very funny cover, so I will see if I read this. The next one I sent for the publisher, and that is The Only Child by Maya Seo. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this one is about a psychologist and a serial killer who will give an interview finally, but only to the specific psychologist, and I guess there is some sort of connection between the serial killer and this psychologist's daughter. Well, it's her stepdaughter, but it sounds interesting, and again, this is another thriller that I did not request, so we'll see if I end up picking it up. Next, I bought Dark Notes by Pam Goodwin. I've heard really, really good things about this. All I know is that it's a student-teacher romance. I don't know if it's his piano teacher. I think it might be her piano teacher. I'm not sure, but I've heard good things, and that's why I buy books, because they sound good. Then I ordered 3 books for a Polycon, and that is the first 3 in the Bound by Honor series by Cor Riley. So I have Bound by Duty, Bound by Hatred, and Bound by Honor, and I don't know, so I think the first one was damaged and then I sent it back, but they all are printed with a little white strip at the bottom because like the first page is black, so they're cut wrong, but every single one is cut wrong, and my damaged one was cut wrong and my new one was cut wrong on the inside. So they are all a little shifted up. This white at the bottom shouldn't be there. The pages should be like down a little, so they were cut wrong. And so I posted about it on Instagram, and the author's assistant DM'd me and said it was actually Amazon's fault, and I just thought that was weird because I've had a book cut wrong before where the page numbers were cut off. So I sent it back and they sent a new one and it was fine, but I just said it was damaged. It didn't say like it was produced wrong. And so all of them are being produced wrong, so I don't know if that really is the Amazon's fault or if there's something wrong with the author's file that they're sending to Amazon. But the person told me to like contact Amazon and get it figured out, but I'm just like, I don't care enough to do that. Like, they look fine. It's not gonna bother me while I'm reading it. I can read it just fine, because if something was damaged on the outside, I'd be really mad, and if the page numbers were cut off, I'd be mad. But these are Mafia romances and I love them, and so I'm meeting Cora at PodCon, so I'm very excited to have them and continue on with this series. Then at Half Price Books, I picked up Furyborn by Claire Legrand. I literally only picked this up because Chandler from Chandler Ainsley loves it. So I don't know anything about it. It's fantasy. It was on sale. I bought it. Then I was sent this really fun box. I think it's from Simon & Schuster, and so it came with a Varsity Letterman patch, and then it came with a copy of Wildcats by Siobhan Vivian. This I'm really excited for. It's about a field hockey team, and it's not necessarily about sports, but like the dynamics of a team, and I think their coach is a bad guy, and it takes place over one night at a team sleepover. I played softball all through middle school and high school, and I was super close with my team, especially my sophomore and junior year with all of the upperclassmen. Once I reached my senior year, it was not as fun anymore because my favorite people graduated and it was so sad, but that just strong team bond I can totally relate to. So I'm very excited to read this and see how it turns out. I played softball, not field hockey, but I feel like still applies, so I'm very excited to read this. Now I have just a stack of mass markets left. So the first one I got was Mine Till Midnight by Lisa Kleypas. I did haul a hardback of this last book haul, but I didn't mean to buy it in hardback, so I found it at Half Price Books in paperback. I'm gonna give my hardback to Lacey because she loves Lisa Kleypas. I literally only bought this because Lacey loves this book, so I don't know what it's about, but it's a historical romance. Then from the publisher, I was sent Chasing Cassandra by Lisa Kleypas. I've already read this and I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. And Cassandra's our main character, and she wants to marry for love, and so she's been denying suitor after suitor who want to marry her because she's like, I don't really feel anything for you, but then she does feel something for this guy named Tom who came from nothing. So during this time period, people who come from nothing are looked down upon versus people who like are from money, and so it's their romance, and it's really cute. And I'm excited to have a finished copy from Avon. Then I picked up Queen of Song and Souls by C.L. Wilson from Half Price Books. This was on clearance. I don't know what it's about. I just know it's fantasy romance, and I've been picking up a lot of her books when I see them on sale because I want to start reading her because she's a very famous fantasy romance author. The next one is a post-apocalyptic, which I love, and that is Mercury Striking by Rebecca Zanetti. This is about a guy who's trying to find this woman who is the only person that can cure this disease that has just taken over LA. So everyone's dying and she can make it better. I like post-apocalyptic stuff, so I'm excited to read this. The next one I picked up because it was on sale, and it's One Snowy Night by Deborah McGillivray. This is actually signed, which I did not know until this second that it was signed. It was $2 at Half Price Books, and our main character is left a widow in Scotland after a bloody battle, and she has children, and she's left unprotected, and then this knight comes stumbling through the snow, and she nurses him back to health, and I believe it's their romance, so I like a good Scottish romance. Speaking of Scottish romances, I picked up Master of Desire by Kinley McGregor. This is actually Sherilyn Kenyon's pen name for her historicals, and I hauled one of her books a couple months ago. This one I think is book 1 in the series or book 2, I can't remember, or it might be a different series. But our main character has to spend a year with the daughter of the enemy kingdom place, and they're trying to make peace between them, and so I think they end up falling in love. It sounds fun. I want to try more of this author, so I bought this book. This is such a cliche summary, but next I was sent Vendetta Road by Christine Feehan, and it's about a motorcycle guy who sees this girl who's like the girl next door, and he's like, she's his, so he knows he's got to get her. That's literally the synopsis. So it says, he knows she belongs with him, and he'll do whatever it takes to keep her. We have our alpha male motorcycle romance right here. I'm excited to have this. I still have to read book 1. I don't know if it's book 2. Is this book 3? I don't know, but I love motorcycle romances. Then I was sent a finished copy of A Heart of Blood and Ashes by Milla Vane. This is a barbarian fantasy romance, and I've already read it. It is a big one, and it's matte and super soft, and I love it. I gave this 4 to 5 stars. I did a reading vlog of this, which I can link down below, and our main character's parents die, and so he is determined to get back at the person who killed them and kidnaps his daughter, and his daughter actually hates her dad, so she's like, yeah, fine, we'll get revenge, and then they end up falling in love together. So it was very, very good. 4 to 5 stars, very high 4 to 5 stars, like 4.5 out of 5, so I'm happy to have a finished copy. The next book I got in the last book of this haul is an arc of Unforgiven by Jay Crownover. I got this from Forever Romance, and this is about a Texas Ranger, and he is hired to help investigate the murder of the father of the woman that's always been off limits to him that he's always liked. So I love a good cowboy romance. I really enjoy book 1 of this series, so I can't wait to read the next one. And that is my massive book haul. Thanks for sticking around. Let me know what you're excited for me to have received and to read, and what you've gotten recently. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.